Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God.
Nearer, my Lord, to thee, nearer to thee. Hello, everybody. Once again, this is Fred Gwanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Allen TV. And as usual, I like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on where you are around the world. That was an opportunity for me to show off my upbringing in the church and the church spirit that remains in me, even though I don't go every Sunday, but I believe in God. Isn't that how you follow up after a powerful message from a pastor? And that's why I sang that beautiful song, a song I've been singing since I was probably 7 years old. Nearer, my Lord, to thee, nearer to thee. That was Episcopal Bishop Marian Edgar, I think it's Budde. It's spelled B-U-D-D or B-U-D-D-E. She was speaking directly to our newly elected 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump. And as you watch, I'll play you the whole clip. And as you watch, you're gonna see how uncomfortable Donald Trump was and his Vice President, J.D. Vance, both of them, J.D. Vance even more uncomfortable than Trump. And this is a duo that was elected overwhelmingly by Americans on the basis that they are a God-fearing duo. I want you to listen to her message to Trump. Take whatever you like from it. It's not about being for or against. It's about the beauty of the American democracy, where an ordinary citizen, be them a priest, a bishop, an ordinary me, can look the ultimate elected official in the face and tell them exactly what's in your heart. What they do with it is their business. How many bishops or high-powered general overseers in Africa, especially in Nigeria, how many can look Bola Ahmed Tinubu or President Biya or any of those dictators in Africa, Buhari when he was there, how many can look them in the face and deliver a strong message on behalf of not just their flock, but on behalf of citizens across the country who are worried and holding their hearts? Listen to Bishop Budde's message.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Tonight I think of my home, the home where I was born.
That was Bishop Marian Edgar Budd using her mega platform, her mega microphone, her mega pulpit to speak truth to power in a way that many powerful people, for their selfish interests or for fear of persecution, will never attempt to do in the interest of humanity. You have the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos of the world surrounding Donald Trump, not to talk of all the other mega people, mega stars that surround him. Donald Trump, believe it or not, can be a very soft person if he's talked to by people he respects. But when those people come around him, and instead of being the voices of conscience, and they are just there as cheerleaders, when you cheerlead Donald Trump, only God knows where he could take you. But I also think you should see Donald Trump's reaction to that appeal by Bishop Budd.
What did you think of this?
What did you think of the service?
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you find it exciting? Not too exciting, was it? I did think it was a good service. No. Thank you very much.
Thank you, press. Thank you, press.
They can do much better.
You could see Trump, his Vice President J.D. Vance, and his entire family wanting to crawl into the ground as this woman was preaching. And on that note, and to all you Trump supporters, I would like you to tell me any part of what Bishop Budd said in this sermon that goes against the tenets of Christianity, the religion, on the basis which many of you voted for Trump as the second coming of Jesus Christ. Bishop Budd also said, in regards to Trump's plans for immigration, we were all once strangers to this land. Everybody in this country came from somewhere. And the two most significant women at that church service where Bishop Budd was preaching, where Donald Trump's wife and the Vice President J.D. Vance's wife. Are you ready for this? Both of them are immigrants. They were not American born. That's one. And there are strong indications that Melania, the First Lady of the United States, at one point was actually an illegal immigrant. That's food for thought. Speaking on illegal immigrants, and speaking on the point of Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, and his advisors, and their fixation on illegal immigrants. And don't get me wrong, nobody thinks borders should be open to everybody, not anywhere in the world, even in the poorest countries. But this fixation on illegal immigrants is not taking into account the fact that undocumented immigrants paid $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local government taxes in 2022. Out of that, that's almost $100 billion. Out of that amount, most of the amount, $59.4 billion, more than half of that was paid to the federal government, while only $37.3 billion of that went to state and local governments. But also, I'm not even sure that Donald Trump actually consulted with many of his supporters, especially the farmers across America, and how this harassment of undocumented workers is going to affect their businesses. And believe me, they're already crying. Check this out.
Some farmers say without these workers, they have about 2 days that they can run their farms. And then after that, it's over. Oh my gosh, I love this. Now you're finding out, you dumb idiots. Now you're just figuring this out. You're so stupid and you deserve it. You deserve it because you're so dumb.
Now, we follow that up with the people that Trump favors, who are also immigrants, but think they can now look down on other immigrants, people like Elon Musk. According to LA Times, so when I quote with facts, Elon Musk's growing empire, which is growing by the day, is actually fueled by $4.9 billion in subsidies that he received from the federal government. $4.9 billion. And it's going to grow more because his man is now in charge. So in other words, it's okay with Donald Trump for his friends who are also immigrants to be enriching themselves astronomically, while the lower end people, even if they are legal, are being taxed to death, and the ones who are struggling to become legal are being chased all over the place to be sent back to where they came from. That's food for thought, and I'll leave it at that today. I hope every one of you paid close attention to that woman's message, that bishop's message to Donald Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Fred Wanko coming to you from our studios in Chicago with another edition of Bold Talk on Island TV. And until next time, good night and God bless.
Tonight I think of my home, the breeze, the cockcrow and the sun, all we had. Rise early at sunup, we go to the farms, drive the monkeys away from the maize farms, and the birds away from the rice farms. Then I moved into Lagos, where I am right now. Here in Lagos,